Hi there, Vinny from Project Frugal. In this video, we're going to give you 10 quick and easy tips how to get out of debt fast, and if you stay tuned to the end, there's one bonus tip. So check it out. Let's get into it. Tip number 1 is know where you're at. First of all, you need to get a piece of paper and a pen, write down all the debts that you have, write down any income sources that you may have, any savings that you've got, put it down on a piece of paper in black and white, and then you'll know exactly where you're starting from. This is a must first step. Moving on to tip number 2, spend less than you earn. Now this is a critical step. If you earn $500 a week, but you end up spending $600 a week, you're going to be $100 short every week. So there's a couple of ways to address that. One is you can stop spending so much. You're going to have to work out ways of doing that. And the other one is you can increase your income to cover your expenses. But you've got to know how much you're spending, and you need a surplus if you're going to tackle this debt. So let's do that. Tip number 3, buy needs, not wants. If you see a PlayStation 5 in the store and it's going to cost you $1,000, ask yourself this question: do I really need that? You might want it, but do you actually need it? So the first thing that you should be putting money on is shelter, food, and transportation. And that's pretty much it. Any money that you've got left over should be going on to debt to get rid of the debt so you can free up cash for later on. Now, there's nothing wrong with spending on needs. If you need something, you need it. If you want something, totally different story. You're going to need food, you're going to need shelter, you're going to need transportation to get to your job, whatever that might be. Those are priority spending items. Moving on to step number 4, decreasing your expenses. Now, there are various methods of doing this. What you want to be doing is tracking everything that you spend money on, within reason, of course. So, for example, utilities, power bill, gas bill, water bill, possibly. You want to see if you've got any alternatives where you can lower the cost. And that might mean doing a bit of shopping around to see if you can get a better deal somewhere else. In terms of things like food, you might choose cheaper options. For example, you might choose a cheaper cut of meat, if you like meat, or you might maybe go to a veggie co-op or somewhere, maybe a market, maybe you can get a reduced price on those sort of things. It's vitally important that you can cut down some of your costs on your expenses so you can free up more cash to put down onto the debt. Tip number 5 is increase your income. Now, you might be able to get a pay rise at work, maybe do some extra overtime, maybe you could get a second job, or possibly even a side hustle to increase the income amount that you're bringing in, and you can use that extra income for getting rid of more debt. The more debt you can get rid of now, the better you're going to feel down the track. So I can highly recommend maybe getting a side hustle, something that you're interested in, just to bring in a few extra dollars. Let's move on to tip number 6. Make smarter financial decisions. Here's a couple of examples. Perhaps you like to travel. Perhaps you could do your travel closer to home and for a shorter duration. So maybe just a day trip or an overnight trip instead of 2 or 3 days away. That's an option. Another option, say you like going to restaurants or having takeaways, maybe you could reduce the frequency that you do these things in order to reduce the cost. You can always cook food at home at a lower price than you can going out and eating. Moving on to tip number 7, and an ideal way to get a little bit of extra cash: sell any unused items. You could do this on TradeMe, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or you could have a garage sale / yard sale. Get rid of these items. Maybe you could ring some of your friends, see if they're interested in getting these items, because chances are you're going to be selling these items at a reduced cost. Might as well let them reap the rewards if that's the case. Everyone's got plenty of stuff that they don't need, generally speaking. If I have a look through my office there, yeah, tons of stuff that I don't need that I can sell, and I need to get rid of it anyway. So there's a win. All that money will be going straight on the debt. No questions asked. Tip number 8 is only pay in cash. Now, if you've got physical cash in your wallet or purse and you hand it over to somebody, it's not going to feel too nice spending that money. You've actually got it in your hands, you're giving it to someone else, it's gone. So you got to make sure that you're making the right decision by spending that money in the first place. When you offer cash, you might be able to get a reduced price. And also another benefit of paying in cash, you've only got a set amount of money that you can actually spend. So once that money's gone, yeah, that's it. The last thing you want to do is end up in more debt by ticking it up onto that plastic credit card. Tip number 9 is to be consistent. When you're attempting to get out of debt, it's always about the small bites of the elephant, not eating the whole elephant itself. So the more you can do consistently, week by week or fortnightly by fortnightly, or whenever you get paid, the quicker you will be able to reap the results by being simply consistent. One good tip that I do is I'm consistent by making sure any investments or any debt repayments are done every couple of weeks. Every time I get paid, I manage my money well, and on the first of the month, every month, that's when I do my budget and reassess my financial situation. And finally, tip number 10 is to measure your results. Now, by doing this consistently, by paying off debt consistently over time, whether it's weeks, fortnights, or months, you can consistently track where you've got to, and hopefully, if you're following these tips, you'll see some improvements and your debt will be reducing. When you have your financial situation written down, it's much easier to visualize how you can move forward, whether that's investing for the future or tackling debt. And finally, one final bonus tip: do it yourself. How many people do you know that get My Food Bag or HelloFresh, order in their food when they could just simply go to the supermarket, get a recipe off the internet, cook it themselves for a much lower price? Also, the same thing with people mowing their lawns. They like to hire someone in, maybe every couple of weeks, pay them $20 or $30. You could simply do it yourself and save your own money. It's a no-brainer if you ask me. Plus, there's an added bonus of you might learn something. And there's plenty of free information available on YouTube and various other sources where you can hopefully gain some new skills. There you have it, 10 tips how to get out of debt fast, plus the bonus tip, of course, don't forget that one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you've got any questions regarding these tips. Maybe it's worked for you, maybe it hasn't worked for you. I can guarantee it will work for you if you follow these tips. So have a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and we'll see you later.